Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today I am actually quite sick, so please bear with me. I'm not feeling super great, but I'm running out of time to complete this project, so I'm just going ahead and doing it. And I'm hoping the fact that I'm not feeling very well won't impact the thing that I am creating. So I am making a wreath that is sort of Hallows Eve, autumnal, fall celebratory colors, and I want to talk a little bit about the magic that's going into choices I've made for my materials. Hi, you joining me? Okay, I decided to make one out of things that I already had. Now, I love repurposing. I find that if you use things that were tied to other projects, sometimes they have a different energy, like weaving together moments of time. And for something that is both decorating and protecting my home, because I'm going to go ahead and weave some protective magic onto it, I think that that is excellent. Okay, so my first component is the wreath that we showed collecting the materials for outside in the yard. It is made out of wisteria vine. Hi, Alexander. Because the wisteria in our garden did as wisteria does and had completely overtaken something and actually knocked it over. It was vining over a trellis and it looked very lovely right up until it got so heavy that it bowled the whole trellis over. So we had to trim it back anyway, and it's already vining out to try and take over all of the plants around it as wisteria does. So we have trimmed it. And I just want to say, yes, I live in North Carolina. It is a native wisteria, not a Chinese wisteria. I do not plant invasive plants, and also it was here when we moved in. Okay. We wove it together while it was still quite green, and then it has been drying in a shaping box since we wove it together, because that was a while ago. The other components are scraps of silk ribbon. So basically, garments made of silk were taken and cut in very, very long strips and then dyed these colors. And I like to use those because it's so hard to talk while he's doing that.
Should I have waited?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm hoping that our viewers won't mind the accompaniment of my kiddo dancing in the background. I'm your background music. Sure. Okay. I like using fabric that came from garments that protected someone, that kept someone warm, that sheltered them from the elements. I like using that to make my clothing. I wear a lot of patchwork stuff. I like using that to make the quilts that I sleep under, and I like using it in both my magic and my home decorations. So that's what this is. And then when we moved in, the previous owner had this really appalling and super dusty floral arrangement that she left behind in the dining room. And the flowers it was made with were not of high quality, and they had hot glued everything into this pot that I wanted to use to actually put plants in. And so someone helped me rip it apart and salvage from it all these feathers that had been sticking out of it, and they were such a great find. These are black rooster feathers, which have a natural iridescent sheen. I don't actually know if the camera's picking it up, but maybe it'll pick it up the rest of the time. They're so lovely, and they're already associated with magic itself. They're used in so many witchy things, so I'm really excited about that. And then pheasant feathers as well. And these were all just stuck in this arrangement. So I have some ethically sourced in it, you know, that happened so long ago feathers. And I'm gonna make a wreath out of it. So that's what I'm doing. And I will film the process as I go. And if you all make one for yourself, please send us a picture of how it turns out. So what I am doing is I'm cutting lengths of this ribbon. Well, it's not exactly a ribbon, but I'm not entirely sure how you would describe it.
You're gonna cut all of it?
Most of it. It's gonna take a lot to do this big of a wreath. And I'll show you what I'm doing with it.
It's like pigtails.
So,
Like from claymation?
yes. Each piece. And of course I'm having trouble with my first one, so there we go. Each piece is getting tied on. And you can either tie it on like that, or if you want, you can make a bow. It doesn't really matter. And then I am going to just keep going around with these until the entire thing is covered with these ribbons.
It's gonna take you like 5 freaking days.
I hope not, because Halloween's like almost just a little over a week away.
Yeah, it's like...
So having done a tiny little segment of this, I realized that I'm likely to go through my entire sort of skein of the black, the orange, and the purpley gray that I'm using. So rather than cutting it one at a time, which would have allowed me to keep it all in the sewn together skein, because each strip is sewn together end to end, I am actually going to, I've never done this before, I'm a little nervous about it. I'm going to just cut my segments all at once and just cut the skein into my lengths. Oh, that's nerve-wracking. I've never done that before. I've always just pulled exactly what I needed and tried to keep the skein as neat as possible. But I'm essentially just cutting my length silk is incredibly durable. People think it is not. As you can see. Okay. All right, so now I just have a whole pile. I'm gonna do that for all of my colors instead of cutting them one by one. Okay.
These a good one?
Nope, that one's not ready yet.
Which one's orange?
Hello everyone! This is the second day of my wreath making project because it hit like 10 o'clock at night last night and I got really tired and I stopped working on it. And then today I've been super busy. We went with our munchkin and explored the woods here in North Carolina and spent some time with my in-laws, my munchkin's grandparents, and got some wood for a new kitchen witch project and did various other garden related activities. And it is now 9:30 at night and I am trying to finish this project and get it up on the door, and I am so tired, but I'm really committed to getting this done this weekend because there's only one more week until Halloween and this is really late to be getting a wreath on the door. So this is where I'm at on this project. Sorry, that picked up some of the ribbon on the table. You can see all of this that you're seeing is the recycled silk that was cut into ribbon strips, tied onto the frame that we created from the wisteria vines. And now I'm going to be weaving on the feathers, but this is where I'm at. And I'm going to fluff it all up and trim any that seem too long to me and add on the feathers, and then it will be done. And I'm really excited about that because I want to get it hung on the door and then move on to other projects. So thanks for sticking with me through my random Hearth craft witchy Halloween project. And if you choose to make one of these for yourself, just know that you will be tying ribbon for approximately forever. I use 3 different methods of tying on the ribbon, which I think I recorded various videos of, but sometimes I did a simple square knot, and then sometimes I did a square knot and a bow, and then I snipped the ends of the bow to create a little bit of a puff, and then sometimes I did another kind of tie, which I'm just gonna show. That's what I was doing. And it really depended on the area I was trying to get the ribbon onto, which one I chose, because sometimes one was easier than another if the vines were twisted close together, if they were far apart, and how much volume I wanted to create. So if you decide that one method works the best for you and you only want to do square knots, or you only want to do the other style, or you only want to do bows, then, you know, have at it. Do whatever works for you. But yeah, I use 3 different methods and 3 different colors. And one of these days I will film a video on making these scraps of silk and hand dyeing them. But not today. Alright, well, it's done, or at least it feels done to me, which is generally how I judge a project being complete or not, is does it feel done? So yes, it does. I wove on the pheasant feathers and the black rooster feathers, and in a couple places they are secured with extra silk strands, but in most cases just weaving the shaft of the feather through the vines and underneath the silk I had already done secured them plenty, and I didn't need to actually tie them in place. And how I tested this was to just gently tug on the shaft like the wind going past to see if they would stay. Alright, so this is the finished wreath with all the feathers and the dancing Alexander. And it does have, we wove a bit of the vine up here to hang it from. And I have no idea how well this is showing up on camera. I know that the oranges were looking really pink, but it's actually quite a bright orange. So it's done. I'm really happy with it. And I know it doesn't look very professional, but that's okay because it was homemade and it is going on my home. So thank you for joining us, everyone. And it looks like Alexander, who helped me on this project, is coming to say hello.
Actually, I was saying hi to future mama.
Oh, what are you gonna say to future mama?
If you are feeling sick because you're editing, or you have a migraine because you've been dating us for the past week, please take a break to eat food and eat water. Do not torture yourself for the YouTubes. YouTube will be okay with you missing an upload. People have gone away for months, years at a time, and people have just said, is he dead? And you post regularly enough that nobody's gonna suspect you is dead. And also you post on Insta too much.
To be dead?
To be dead.
Okay.
So, future mama, nobody's gonna care if you need to take 3 or 4 days
To edit this video?
to just chill.